Good morning, g'day, welcome to G'day Bitcoin. Huge episode today. Join me today, Rory Sailor. How are you this morning, brother?
Nice and warm, my friend, nice and warm.
Good to have you on. We've got so much to cover. The funniest thing is you're going to really back up Gary Gensler, which is insanity. You're a madman. We'll get into that. I don't know if you said you're sick in the head, mate, but you sent me this the other day, and I just want to say, I wonder what this guy's feeling now. So you sent this to me. Do you want to read it out and then tell me why you shared it with me? And then we'll get into Gary Gensler, ladies and gentlemen.
Mate, you put me on the spot. I feel like I'm in school. I've I don't know what you're doing to me. So some newbie. I tried Bitcoin twice, once a year ago and again a few months ago. Both times I lost interest. I like the basic idea, but I wonder if it can be improved. Is there a place on this site or somewhere else to discuss Bitcoin alternatives? Poor guy. I would hate to be this guy right now, I'll tell you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I guess the reason this is such a big deal is because this happened September 29, 2010. So this guy was so early, so ahead of the curve, and he was looking for shitcoins straight away. And I guess that's what really intrigued me when you sent it through to me is people are always looking for something new or something shiny, but we don't need it. We've got the best money in the world, the soundest money in the world, the best performing investment of all time is Bitcoin. So poor fucker. Let's get straight into Gary Gensler. You've got a little bit of an alternative take than most people. It's actually very grounded and level-headed. So I'll play the video and then you tell me where to stop and start and why we're discussing it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to play about 45 seconds of the video. So listen closely and then we'll open it up for debate and make sure you can hear it well and proper.
Cases recently found that decentralized financial technology, quote, not only removes the so-called middlemen from these transactions, but it also allows users to interact through a variety of methods in an easy and efficient manner, end quote. The court also said underwriters like the ones at banks where you work, sir, are, quote, precisely the types of individual roles that decentralized exchanges were designed to eliminate, end quote. Mr. Gensler, can you assure this committee that your style of regulation by harassment towards digital asset innovation is to the benefit of every American and not driven by your desires to protect industry incumbents?
This is a field that's rife with fraud and manipulation, and I'm looking out for the American investors who've been hurt by the crypto.
Yeah. I'll reclaim my time. Mr. Gensler, despite your years of rhetoric, like today.
Pause it there. So
what's going on?
This guy's asking this guy a question. He's asking Gary Gensler a question in regards to, are you trying to just protect bank jobs? And here he is trying to answer the question by saying he wants to protect people from the different scams that are in the industry. I don't know about you, Sean, but I've been a part of one or two pump and dumps. Not that I've made any money out of it, more of a lost money out of it. But he didn't even give him a chance, and then he goes straight into saying, I want to reclaim my time again, and then didn't even give him a chance. And at the end of that particular question that he does, he's basically got it all written, and he's already formed an opinion about this Gary Gensler.
So should I play a little bit more quickly?
Yeah,
he's got that answer.
An impartial regulator. Instead, it's clear that you are working to consolidate your own power, even though it means crushing opportunities for everyday Americans and, frankly, the financial future of this country. Even the federal courts are highlighting the damage you, sir, are doing to our constituents, and they're telling you that you don't have the legal authority to accomplish your goal of squashing competition in the financial markets. Congress has been telling you that too. Now, Mr. Gensler, I believe our great financial system is the definition of freedom in this country. And congressional policies must provide room for the traditional financial system to evolve alongside the disruptive digital asset ecosystem.
So he keeps on talking, but I think that point that you're making is if you ask somebody a question, you should at least allow them to elaborate and share their thoughts instead of coming back with a preformed opinion. which is fair. I guess within Bitcoin, nobody likes Gary, and we can see that probably in the the court system, nobody likes Gary either. But I think that's probably a better way to be able to approach things. Hey, is to
and
be level-headed.
I'm not defending him or anything. It's just the way that this guy has asked the question. He's clearly written everything down that he wants to ask him, which is smart. I probably should have written some things down, but I haven't. So he's not a stupid guy, this Mr. Elmer, but just the way that he's already formed an opinion because he's already written it down, and he has already gone into this conversation to preempt his yes or no questions, and it doesn't matter what he was going to answer. He was already going to say, "I'm going to reclaim my time. You haven't answered yes or no." And I understand this guy's on probably a pretty small time window in terms of asking him questions, but I don't know. I've seen people having a go at Gary Gensler, saying he got absolutely destroyed with these questions. There's a few different people that asked him questions as well, but this particular one I saw, I was like, man, fucking hell, give this guy a break, Jesus! And it is the wild, wild west. Crypto is.
It looks like Rory's frozen out there in the jungle, so he'll be back in a second, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I brought up this other tweet here is choose one. Fire Gary Gensler, approved Bitcoin ETF day on Sailor's Lot, 50,000 followers or 0.1 Bitcoin. Let us know in the comments below what pill you would choose. Are you back with us, Rory?
Yeah, back with you. What happened there?
I don't know. You sort of glitched out in the matrix. You're defending Gary Gensler, and the YouTube's like,
someone didn't like it.
We can't have that. Yeah, we need to take this guy down. So he's obviously a love-hate relationship with Gary. I was talking to British Hodl yesterday, and I've got a video also of Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy talking about how important the Bitcoin ETF is. And I guess the whole reason that everybody, quote unquote, hates Gary Gensler is because he is preventing something that is a necessity. And I know I'm going to get grilled for that. Not for Bitcoiners or hardcore Bitcoiners or for the ethos of Bitcoin, but for large institutional investors to be able to come in, large family offices, high net worth individuals to be able to come into Bitcoin. The ETF is a vehicle that needs to come into the system, whether we like it or not. And Gary continues to keep getting in the way. And I think he's going to continue to get a hard time there. So anyway, let us know which pill everyone would choose. Rory, what would you go for? The red pill, fight Gary Gensler. Green, approve the Bitcoin ETF. A day in Sailor's Yacht, 50K followers or 0.1 Bitcoin.
Mate, I'd probably go a day on Sailor's Yacht.
Yeah, I'd go for that one as well. Imagine being able to sit down and talk with this legend for so long. We've actually got a pretty funny video that you shared with me in regards to Sailor as well. So let's hit that. Let's hopefully.
Why don't you break this down simply for people like me that don't fully understand it?
Okay. If you went out the yield curve on bonds, or if you went in.
Sure.
Is constantly growing. It's happening as all of these new companies, new.
So let's start at the beginning, if you don't mind, explaining what is it?
Sure.
Oh man, why'd you share that with me?
Oh mate, that poor guy. You know, he just keeps getting asked the same question in interviews, and it makes sense why you ask him that question, because you go on different YouTubes and different podcasts and things, and people have different followers, and they want the what they see in terms of the content that they've watched already. They want that on their channel. So I can understand why he's getting asked those questions, but fucking hell, it must be tiring. He's just like, how many fucking times have I bloody told you this?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it's really good marketing for the man as well. But to be asked the same thing every single show he gets on, you just be like, Oh fuck! Come on, guys. Think originally. What are your thoughts on Michael? It's not Michael Saylor. I keep saying Michael Saylor, but it's MicroStrategy's investment this week. He announced that he bought another 5,445 Bitcoin. What do you think about the recent purchase and how this guy or this company is really going after as much Bitcoin as he can possibly get his hands on? Sorry, I'm not sharing the tab.
Mate, I think it's a pretty silly idea, actually. I reckon. No, I'm just playing.
I was like, what?
No, I saw something this morning, and it said he's got 0.75% of total Bitcoin in circulation. So he's only a quarter of a percent off of getting 1% of the Bitcoin network. So that's pretty cool. You know, he's in a position to do that, which is just insane. We're sitting here getting points of sats, points of Bitcoin. We're getting sats, and this guy's over here buying fucking. He's like, oh no, what? I'm gonna have to have a whole number of Bitcoin. I can't have any of these points shit. No, this is ridiculous. You know, so it's crazy that he's done that, and he's one of the reasons that I've gone so deep into Bitcoin. Like, man, if he's doing it, I'm going, fucking hell, there's got to be something here. You know, he's got a good story about when he was first starting his company. He had a mentor that was running another company, and I'm probably not going to do the story justice at all. But he talked to his mentor when he was like making a couple $100,000 a year, and he goes, hey, you know, what about this new strategy? And the mentor goes, no, that's not going to fucking work. And they're on the same level. And anyway, he goes, fuck it, I'm going to go and do this strategy, and does this new strategy. The next year, he's tripled his income for the company, and he hits his mentor up, who's making the same couple of $100,000 that he was making the year before. And he goes, hey, I'm thinking about going into this new strategy. No, that won't work. No, don't do that. That's going to kill your business. And he goes, it just fucking kept Xing and just kept going up and up and up. And then he kept talking to his mentor, and his mentor was just doing the same, producing the same amount each year for his company. And he goes, it's all about taking risks. So that's always, and as I'm not doing it justice, because you listen to Michael Saylor, you'll have to find one of his interviews, you know.
he says the same story on every interview, so just choose any Michael Saylor one, you'll be right.
Yeah, pick the longest one. Because I guarantee he's going to talk about it in one of them. But so he talks about taking risks, and I'm sitting there going, fuck, this guy's putting his money where his mouth is. Like, he's not telling you to do something and then doing something else. Mainly because it's a public company, and you can check. You go, okay, that's where they're spending their money. So, like, if a dude that's doing that and has that sort of money and that sort of conviction, I'm going, fucking hell, what's a lonely little bartender going to do? Might as well do something, you know. And flip the coin and thought, fuck it, I'll do the same thing.
Yeah, it's his conviction's insane. I'm just going to bring this back up. There's a couple of things that I want to read for everyone here. Just give me 2 secs. Excuse me, I need to get that burp out. Better out than in, as they say. MicroStrategy remains bullish on Bitcoin purchase at only 147.3 million worth. Like, fuck, he could have done 150 million. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Anyway, hopefully next time he does a little bit better. MicroStrategy continues to be bullish on the long-term prospects of Bitcoin as the software developer and business intelligence firm co-founded by Michael Saylor announces that it purchased another 5,445 Bitcoin to add to its treasury, making it one of the largest single holders of Bitcoin in the world. One of the things that you said there is, well, he's got about 0.75 of the supply. With all the coins that have gone out of circulation, he probably is at that 1% already, you know, like there's estimates there's only ever going to be sort of 14, 15 million Bitcoin out there, which if he's done that, but I was listening to a video this morning, actually, and I'm sorry that I couldn't bring it up here and get a copyright strike for it. But he was talking about he's not going to stop. He's just going to keep getting more and more and more and more. He'll use debt. He'll do whatever he can to be able to get his hands on as much Bitcoin as possible. As someone that's already put like $4 billion into Bitcoin is doing that, then should lead to conviction. But according to a Monday post from Saylor, MicroStrategy acquired the new stash, 147 million, average price of 27,053. I will bring up the price in the block clock in a second. We can see what it is today. So that's from August 1st to September 24. The company said it issued and sold 403,000 403,362 MicroStrategy shares. In August, MicroStrategy, I always just go back to Saylor, said it planned to raise up to 750 million by selling more stock and intend to use some of the proceeds to buy more Bitcoin. He's going to keep doing this. Approximately $4.68 billion with an average purchase price at 29,582. On Simply Bitcoin, they brought up like the most amazing video of Michael Saylor saying, yes, I bought it at the top. And people always talk about me buying Bitcoin at the top. But he's like, every year I'm going to keep buying Bitcoin at the top. I'm not going to stop. I'm always going to buy it at the top. But they also don't talk to me about when I was buying it under $10,000. So basically, it's just like saying, shut the fuck up, stack sats, and you'll get fabulously wealthy, which is British Hodl's 3 rules. That's a very fun interview that will be coming out. What I'm going to do is I'll just bring up the block clock here, and we'll have a look at what today's numbers are. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we are at block height 809,786. Local time is 8:42 a.m. Blocks to the next halving 30,214. Sats per dollar, it is going down, unfortunately. The higher the sats per dollar, the better. I believe. Some people want to see it the other way around, but 3,698. I love it when numbers line up. So 3,698 sats per US dollar. The exchange rate is 27,042. How close is that to what Michael Saylor has bought Bitcoin at? 27,053. We're at 27,042. So if you need a reason to be able to buy, why not do it? You're getting it cheaper than what Michael Saylor did in the last couple of months with $147 million. Couple of things. You asked me to send an article too that I brought up in a recent live stream here so that you could share with your father. And this is happening all around the world, so I thought it'd be interesting to get your perspective and why this is such a big deal, mainly for the elderly, I guess. Strongest sign yet, Australia headed towards total cashless society. According to data from the Reserve Bank of Australia, that's sort of like our central bank. What's quite interesting about the Australian Central Bank is it's owned by the Commonwealth of Australia. So it's not a private institution. It is owned by Australia. I still don't believe it's any different to any central bank like the Fed. That's my ignorant opinion, but the people in control, like nobody here in Australia is going to ask the Australian. Actually, people do. They say print as much money, give us the free checks. They're all happy for it, and then they don't realise inflation. But nobody has any say apart from, the people pulling the strings. According to data from the RBA, more than $1 billion worth of physical cash disappeared from circulation in the last financial year. Shift that's likely to make life more difficult for the elderly and for those in the regions. So this is fairly personal for your father, and you asked this article. Why is this such a big deal to him for someone close? It'd be nice to get that perspective.
First of all, he's not going to like that you said elderly, so I won't share this interview with him.
Wise. He is a beautiful, wise, gentle, kind, caring man.
Yeah. I'm still not going to tell him.
Take it all back.
Said he called him elderly. Mate, he refuses to even tap his. He will not tap his credit card or his. He'll never tap his debit card. He'll never tap his credit card, but he won't even. If he has to use it, he has to insert it, do his PIN, and that's on like a $2 transaction. But if it's a $2 transaction, he just goes in the
glove box.
The cigarette ashtray in the car, because that's where all the money's. If you want to rob me, check the ashtray. Yeah, you get about $4.50, I reckon. But he refuses to use anything besides cash. It's so weird. He'll go and take cash out. I'll give you an example. We went to town the other day, and he's like, he needs to get new boots, and I was like, oh well, let's get some new boots on the way out of town. He goes, oh no, I don't have any cash in, because we bought some chicken food and all sorts of stuff for the farm. And he goes, no, I've got no cash left. And I was like, you got money in the bank? And he goes, yeah, but I can't go to the bank to get money out. I was like, fucking buy it on your card. No, I'll get it next week because we go to town once a week, you know. He's like, no, I'll go next week. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, fuck, I'll buy it for you. I'll give you $100 cash. No, I'll get it next week. You know, I go, Dad, you know they're probably going to get rid of cash soon. He goes, no, they won't do that. I go, well, when you're dead, they will. Then maybe they're just holding out for you. You know, it's bizarre. It's like when COVID happened, my nan had never had my grandmother had never had a debit card, not once in her life. She has the old style books, and I'm not even going to do the description justice because I had to ask her to see this book. So what it is, she goes to the bank and they have to record how much is how much is left, how much is. It's like a bank book. It's fucking insane, and they write down how much she takes out. And because COVID happened, oh man, it was nuts. And
double
they're
entry.
not doing. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're not even that's getting phased out with all the old biddies. And I think that was one of the reasons COVID might have happened as well to get them out of the system and get them onto the cashless society, because now she has a debit card, so we're tapping a debit card. You know, she won't let you buy coffee when you take her out because that's just how it is. And I'm going, man, I've got more money coming in than you. No. Yeah, she's skiing at the moment, you know, spending the kids' inheritance. So
yeah, good on her. As they should. Nobody should. I don't know. If you get given a whole lot, well done. Please put it to good use. Make the most of it. Don't fucking put it all up your nose. But people that have worked their whole lives, fucking enjoy your retirement. If you are a wise person watching this, we don't have elderly people in the world anymore, but if you're a wise person watching this, go on a ski holiday. I think that's a good idea. You keep glitching in the Matrix, Rory. It's awesome.
Damn it! I got Starlink here. I don't know what's going on, mate.
It is crazy, actually. Just talking about Starlink, because I don't know whether I'm a fan of. I am a fan of Elon Musk. I'm not sure if all of his agendas are good, but this Starlink, like, I can bring up my I'll do an internet speed test. But when I was talking to Chris from Bitcoin Alive, his Starlink downloads 200 megabytes a second, and like his upload speeds were like 50 megabytes a second or something, which was absolutely insane. How are you? Like, how do you find it? Do you have reception the whole time? Does it drop out every 12 minutes or?
Mate, what was that website you're going to? Because I'll run the same test and we can compare.
Just type in speed test and it'll be the first thing that comes up on Google.
Is that the speedtest.net?
Well, if I just go and Google, then it just brings it up. I'll show you the screen that I'm looking at. I'll share this tab instead. I'll zoom in.
Oh, you're just clicking that first link there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
I got that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, like, the Australian government has just spent like billions and billions and billions of dollars putting this thing in called NBN, which is fiber optic. And it's not directly to the house, but it's like to where your house plugs into, I don't know what you call it, like the distribution centers. But my download in Australia, billions of dollars, is 20.2 megabytes per second download and an upload speed of 4.38. And it'll be interesting to see what you get. Like, this is fiber optic. Fiber optic's insane. Like, it should be really good, but it's not. It's shit.
Where are we here? It says download is 37.7. 37.76 download, and I think it's just running the upload.
Is this on Starlink or this is?
This is Starlink, yeah. I don't get service out here otherwise. So I got 16.52 upload and 37.76 download.
I wonder why Chris's was way better. Like, he was literally like over 200.
He's probably spending more money than what I am.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, he's gone with like the biggest plan, and to be able to use it where you just, like, he just packs up the Starlink, puts it on his camper, and then just goes off, and then he can work anywhere like in Australia, or probably anywhere in the world with it. Absolutely insane. Couple more things that I want to go through. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuning in, I understand we're having a little bit of a banter, talking a little bit of shit. Life's too short to be sad or to take it too seriously. So if you've got any questions or any topics that you want us to discuss, feel free to bring it up. Anything's fair game, and it's definitely not a professional stream, but you're going to get that from time to time. Occasionally I will jump on here and talk a little bit of nonsense. This, I think, is the power of Bitcoin, and I thought this is something that I'd like to discuss with you, Rory, is Bitcoin emerges as a lifeline amid the Lebanon economic crisis. Couple of things here. So in the face of an unprecedented economic disaster, Bitcoin is playing a pivotal role in sustaining the Lebanese economy. The local currency has seen a massive 95% decline in value, leading to a complete hold of the nation's financial system. As a result, many Lebanese citizens are now resorting to Bitcoin as a crucial financial lifeline, reported on Tuesday. So previously recognized for its financial stability in the Middle East, Lebanon is now grappling with a severe economic crisis. The devaluation of the Lebanese pound has led to significant ramifications, including rendering pensions worthless. So we'll talk about pensions, and bringing the once vibrant banking sector to a standstill due to bank closures and cashless ATMs. There was one thing here as well where they were saying that it has declined, massive 95% decline in value. First thing I want to say about that is, while that's happening in Lebanon, and it's a very extreme example, mathematically certain for every fiat currency. So it's just a matter of time, not if. But what are your thoughts on that, especially like Bitcoin playing a role in being able to help people save that? Is that part of your conviction in Bitcoin, or you're just here for the number go up and you don't really care about the revolution?
I got a few thoughts on that. The one is, how are people on ramping? Is probably the number one idea that I have. Like, if it's all right if you've got an amount of Bitcoin already, and then your bank fails, because then you can just transact in it as long as you've got internet, you know. But if you've got, I don't know, 10 grand in the bank, how can then, if your currency's fucked, how are you going to put that 10 grand into Bitcoin if there's no, like, is there exchanges over there? Because I got a lot of friends that I'm trying to orange pill around the world, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to do this, but how do I get into it? And I'm going, well, fuck, you can't use the exchanges that I use because I'm in Australia. So I'm trying to like find out all these different exchanges that people can use around the world, and I struggle to find the best way that they can go about doing that. So that'd be the number one question. I like the idea that you can just transact in it as long as you've got an internet connection. Because if we don't have an internet connection, we're fucked. It's not Bitcoin you got to worry about. It's everything. Hospitals won't work. Traffic lights won't work. Fucking nothing will work. Cell phones won't work. Nothing will work. You know. So that's when it's like all turns into chaos and anarchy. But if that's the biggest thing. Trying to get your money out of the bank into Bitcoin. If you do it before it all turns to shit, all good. But if it's turned to shit and now you're trying to get out of it, I don't understand how they can go about getting that, unless they do it like a cash transaction, but then they can't get cash out of the bank. So that's I don't really understand it because I'm not there. So I don't have any friends over there that I can ask about how that works. Yeah, so it would be hard for me to form an opinion on that. But yeah, I just got more questions rather than anything.
Yeah, I started to have a conversation, and if anyone's got any insights in the chat, but in places like that, one thing in the article is they're saying that the ATMs are cashless, so there's no cash in the ATMs, which means even if they have money in the bank and the bank branch is open, is closed, they can't get that money out. If they can get their hands on cash, then they can do peer-to-peer. I think there's always going to be able to be a market for that, and people will then take that and go to a Forex or a currency exchange and change it straight away back into US dollars or whatever it is. But if they can't get their hands on cash, then I don't know. So if anyone else has got any insights to that, I think that's a great way to be able do it. In regards to like their pensions and stuff, I did have a conversation with Andy from the Bitcoin Advisor. This is not just happening in Lebanon. Like the Australian government wants to use, I think there's like $3.7 trillion sitting there within pensions, and they want to be able to use that for military spending, whatever they want to be able to spend. So people can check that there. You'll see it under videos, and there's Gary Gensler in a jumpsuit. Oh, Jerome Powell in a prison jumpsuit, and they want to steal your pension. But that's happening all around the world, where they're seeing all this money just sitting there, and they want to be able to use it. So while, I guess what you're saying is, while you still have those on-ramps, it's potentially a good time to be able to stack up. A couple of comments here. Waiting to see what happens in the US in 2 days. It's going to be very interesting. Paul, what is happening in the US in 2 days? Excuse my ignorance. Is this with the government shutdowns happening? And Rory, do you have any insights? Like, do you know why they're shutting the government down? You know, like why they have these government closures? Is it to save money? Because if it is to save money, they just print as much money as they fucking like anyway. So I think that point's mute, but
Oh, mate, that's above my pay grade for sure. I can only I can only rattle off my my conspiracy theories about that sort of shit, but yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, there's so many different. Unless you're in it, mate, it's hard to know exactly where they're going. Like I got my opinions, but my opinions aren't fact. My opinions are just the way I think and the way I look at stuff. And you know, most of the time, if you asked any of my ex-girlfriends, I was wrong. So, you know.
Quite an interesting story about your ex-girlfriend, but we may save that for when we're off air.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Maybe we need an affiliate link. Paul was
link in bio.
Paul was saying it is in regards to the government shutdowns. Paul, can anyone please explain to us why the US government shuts down? The other day when I was talking about it, I had my conspiracy theories as well. I thought maybe they wanted to go to one certain island together and just to be able to party and collaborate and collude and get up to no good, if you know what I mean. I think they just needed everyone to be on holiday at the same time so they can not learn to be able to take over the world. They already know that, but just share what's working so they can pull more of these puppet strings once they come back and resume operations.
Is this a scheduled closure, like a public holiday? Is that what you're talking about?
I think they shut down for quite a while. Let me bring it up. And US Gov shutdown.
How's your back going, by the way?
Fuck, bro, it is so painful today. I'm going back to the doctors and back to the physio today shortly, and it's probably like a bulging disc, I think.
Fun times.
Yeah, it's fucking enjoyable. Like it's great. I'm making the most of it. And I just everyone should experience this never in their life. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the way that I describe it is, you know, when you have those feelings of euphoria that like wash over you, and euphoria is like a happy feeling and your whole body has that like washing. I will get that with pain sometimes that emanates from my spine and just like washes over me. And then I just need to pretend that it feels good and make the most of it. And that's why I laugh like really weirdly sometimes, because it's the only way that I can just push through that moment. So it's fucking great. It's great. I appreciate you asking.
So you get a bit of a gallows laugh happening.
Gallows laugh.
Yeah.
That's
you know what a gallows laugh is?
No, but I know what the gallows are. So
yeah, it was like people are about to get hung, and they've gone through all the different emotions. They've been angry, they've been in denial, they've been sad, they've been depressed.
Yeah.
And then when they put the hood over their head, they've got nothing else to do except laugh.
Oh, yeah. Have the last laugh. That's probably where that saying comes from. Have the last laugh. Paul, my theory is they basically want to cause chaos with the financial system because, let's face it, it's absolutely screwed. Access happens. Bitcoin and crypto in general will explode. Absolutely. Next year, in regards to this Bitcoin ETF, there was I'll bring up a tab later, but I really reckon Gary is purposely delaying this. We know he's purposely delaying it. He's been delaying it for a long time, but I think the timing of the Bitcoin ETF with the halving that's going to come early next year, and BlackRock, whether they approve everyone at once or BlackRock first, BlackRock's going to be on the top of the list regardless. Even if they put them all out like just bang, 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 BlackRock's going to be number one for sure. And then we'll have a supply shock, but then we're going to have this demand shock, and this is what British Hodl and I talk about. That video will be coming out in 2 weeks' time. Not next week, the week after. Holy fuck. Like the amount of money that will start to flow into it, I don't think we've ever seen anything like that. And like, I'm perpetually bullish long term, and maybe it doesn't play out like halving, bang, number go up. Usually it's 6, 12, 18 months later. Maybe it takes 3, 5 years, 10 years. But what we're going to see over the next, say like 2030, 2032, is going to be absolutely insane. And I think like what you shared with me before, and I'll bring it back up. The first thing that we shared.
Don't throw me under the bus. Don't throw me under the bus, Sean.
This guy in 2010, obviously they feel like they've missed out hardcore. This was when it was 7 cents or something like that. Yeah, price points like 7 cents. Like what the fuck? I think there is more upside ahead of us than what we've seen so far over the next, say like 2030, over the next 10, 20, 30 years. What Bitcoin's going to do, it's amazing. So if you're here now, well done. If you're going on the bull market, if you can do anything, it's not financial advice, but just fucking stack one Bitcoin. Whatever you do, stack one Bitcoin. It's not advice. It's just a fucking bloody good idea. In my opinion, there's a couple of things that I want to bring out. So that's the Bitcoin ETF in regards to that. I've got to actually, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. It is a little bit due to the pain. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you've been absolutely great and gracious dealing with me over the last week and a bit. Anyway, government shutdown live update. Congress has less than 3 days to reach a deal. Congress still lacks a clear path forward as millions of federal workers and military families face it. Oh, fuck. Oh, crap. I didn't realize it was that bad. I thought maybe they shut down and they still would have got paid, but federal workers and military families face a pause in paychecks. This is catastrophic. Can someone in the chat let us know why they would do this? Like, they've just printed so much money and they gave out free checks to everyone in the last couple of years, and now they want to shut down the government and stop paying people. Is this to be able to remove that liquidity out of the market and cause more hardship? This is horrific. The latest,
did that say for only 3 days?
They've got 3 days to decide. So let's find out. Let's keep reading. I know nothing about this. I need to look into it a little bit more. How long are they thinking to shut this government down for? Latest news, potential government shutdown. Little time left to avoid a shutdown. Still doesn't have a plan. Government funding runs out. Well, government funding fucking never runs out. That's bullshit. Senate's been working bipartisan manner. Bill to fund the government through November 17, which should pass in the coming days, though perhaps not before the weekend deadline. Conservative Health Republicans pushing for deep spending cuts. Well, they should be cutting spending for sure. No denying that. Saying they'll refuse to support the Senate's bill or any long or short-term legislation that would buy Congress. Let us know in the comments, is this just posturing like they do with the debt ceiling, where they're like, no, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling. You need to do this, you need to do that. And then we get like an unlimited debt ceiling. And there's no cap on it till whenever that was after the elections. Meanwhile, pushing to House will vote late tonight on 4 government funding bills that would fund defence and national security agencies. This is absolutely insane. Some people are throwing stuff in. Here's a financial advice. You need 100 Bitcoin or you're going to stay poorish. 10 Bitcoin is okay. I guess 1 Bitcoin is not enough. To be honest, there we go. I agree. You need 100 Bitcoin. I feel like I need 100 Bitcoin. I definitely don't have 100 Bitcoin, but I'm doing everything I possibly can. Not yet.
Catch up, mate. Catch up.
Let's fucking go. But I try be greedy and have as much of it as possible. But no, 100 Bitcoin in my life is unfortunately, that's never, ever, ever going to be possible. And a lot of people already priced out of 1 Bitcoin. 5 Bitcoin for the majority of the world and 10 Bitcoin for the majority of the world, people are totally priced out. So whatever you can do to be able to get out as much.
You look at it,
to get as much as possible.
American dollars is what, 27,000? It's a lot of fucking money when people don't even have $1,000 in the bank. At the current price, it's 41,000, almost 42,000 Australian dollars. Man, who the fuck has 42 grand sitting around? Nobody.
Yeah.
Not the average Joe, anyway.
No, not the average Joe. In Australia, though, people do have superannuation. If they've been working for 30, 40 years, they can go into a self-managed super fund. If they've got equity in their house, there's a potential to be able to pull some out. If they've already paid off most of their house and it's stuck at a very low interest rate, there are creative ways. I'm not saying to do this. There's a link below. If you're a high net worth individual and you need to find out, talk to the Bitcoin advisor. It's a free chat. Talk to them. They're good, whatever. If you need help doing that. But there are ways where people can become creative and get to one if they've been working for a long time, especially in places like Australia that do have pension funds. In the US, it's IRA. Fucking how good is that book? Reach out to Daz B. Beers for Bitcoin.
Dude, it's so funny. My old man just dropped it off. It just came in the mail today. I bought 2 copies. One for the old man, one for me.
Yeah.
Even though I read it, I literally just finished it on my Kindle the other day. But
I'm going to order another whole lot as well. Everyone, tag Rory and I on Twitter. I'm at ShortClark911 at SEANCLARKE911. Rory, what's your is it just Rory Sailor? Tag us both on YouTube
not sailor like Michael Saylor. Sailor like is the opposite of a pilot, a sailor.
In the comment section, you'll see it here. Let me write it. So at Rory. Is that all it is? At just Rory Sailor?
Yeah, Rory Sailor.
Yeah, cool. And I'll put
I'm thinking about adding 911 on there though, just to be cool, right, with the crowd.
It's just what it gave to me. So tag us both on Twitter and share this video. Obviously, hit subscribe, and for one lucky person, actually send a smart, intelligent tweet, something that's going to get a good laugh, and then Rory and I will go through and I will send you a signed book of B is for Bitcoin by the author Daz Beer. I also need to order a whole lot. I'm going to send a whole lot.
You're not going to sign it, Sean?
I don't think anyone needs my signature, but I might write "G'day" on there as well. For people if they're interested, but Daz and Seb, they're the man. I've got a video with Daz on there, so do that. Write something intelligent, and wherever you are in the world, if you're like in some extreme place and shipping's going to cost a hell of a lot of money, to be honest, I'm just going to buy it on Amazon and ship it to you direct, and you're not going to get that signature. Let's be honest.
I was literally going to say the same thing. I can't guarantee it's going to be a signature, but I'll be in that. I'll buy someone a book for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'll buy it with the Lightning Network as well.
I was just trying to bring up the Lightning here because I got fucking orange pilled so hard the other day talking to Paul Keating, the jungle man, because he uses Lightning every single day for
where is he?
Like just payments. Costa Rica, Bitcoin jungle. Super cool dude. And like literally we just held our phones up, or he held up the QR code, and it's like, bang, instantly done. I was like, holy shit, bro, that's magic. Let's do it again. Because there's one place here where I live that accepts Bitcoin on the Lightning Network, and it's a fish and chip shop, and it's deep fried shit. Like, I'm not going to put seed oils into my body. So I've never used it. But when I had that moment, it's like, oh, holy fuck, this is so cool. So this guy came, and I don't know, you can diss me in the comments. I don't care. I bought an Apple Watch Ultra. Fucking smartwatch is the dumbest fucking investment ever. Anyway, not an investment, the dumbest fucking thing I've ever spent my money on. And I got
Not
it.
financial advice.
That is financial advice. Fucking buy Bitcoin, not a fucking Apple Watch. This shit. The technology in it is good. I got it for the like the alarm to wake up, just the tap on the wrist, but also for the diving, because they do have a really good dive feature for free diving in there. And I've already got a fairly decent dive watch, so I didn't really need to, and I wasn't using it to wake myself up. So I sold it, and I was talking to this guy, and I said, while we're talking, can you just download the wallet of Satoshi for me, please? He's like, yeah, all right. What is that? And I'm like, yeah, just bring it up. And I'm like, because we started talking about Bitcoin. He's like, no, I missed that boat. It's too expensive. I'm like, bro, you haven't. Like, and to try to orange pill me, didn't really have the time. But I said, just bear with me. And I sent him 21 sats. And so he's like, oh, whoa, that's kind of cool. And like, you know, that was it. And then he went, and he ended up paying me cash, which was all good. But the Lightning, that's a real cool way to be able to orange pill people. Knight was saying the last shutdown was 35 days under Obama, and most everybody got back pay. That's so insane. But what do they do for like a whole month? Like you were saying, like most people don't have $1,000, or in America, I know there's that statistic. If someone has a $400 medical bill that comes up, most people can't afford it, and they're going to shut them down. This is absolutely insane. The Republicans don't want to pander to the Democrats and want to see them fail, which is fair enough. Of course, so there's a lot of posturing here. We're now in modern monetary theory, endless money printing, absolutely. Just get as much Bitcoin as you can. Bloody great advice. It'll be better than anything else in the long term. Obviously, there is our Twitter. Make sure you do tag us. MMT. Everyone should look into MMT. BTC is the new savings account. It's all about saving the value of our efforts and sacrifice. It is the hardest form of money. Literally, it is what British Hoddle said to me, like, I know it's the scarcest asset, but the way that he related it back to me is he said, the only thing scarcer than Bitcoin is a human life. There's nothing else. Literally. That's insane.
I always have a question about that. I'm a pretty skeptical sort of fella. Usually, I'm pretty strongly convicted on the Bitcoin rabbit hole. But man, what if everyone just goes, no, I feel like we need more, and then everyone just upgrades their nodes, and now we've got 22 million Bitcoin out there. You know, I've always had that thought, because I'm trying to set up a node at the moment, and I am questioning, because I'm not a technical guy in the slightest. I only just learned how to solder, and not very good either. But I always question the operating system. How do you know that they aren't going to change the Bitcoin Core program that you're running, the software? How do you know they're not just going to log into your Raspberry Pi and just change it automatically on you without your knowledge? You know, you connect to the internet, bang, it just updates, and you're like, oh fuck, what happened there? And then they just delete the old code and you can't get it again. You know, I know it's open source and it's on GitHub and stuff, but I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that sort of thing. Hence why I want to build this node, so I can get a bit more of an understanding. And talking to guys like you and some of the guys you put me in contact with, I'm going to get in contact with MindRacks more when I'm up in Brisbane next, to, you know, actually have a more in-depth conversation about the technical side of Bitcoin, because you can see, you watch all these YouTubes and all this sort of stuff, and the questions that I have in my head, I haven't been able to find answers to just yet. And I've read a shitload of books. I've watched a fuck ton of videos, And I just need to sit down with someone and just go, all right, well, you're doing it. Tell me how this works, how that works. But failing that, man, I've traveled around the world. I traveled all through my 20s, and I know how hard it is to transfer cash from country to country. And man, Bitcoin just eliminates that. It just streamlines it so easy. Like I was looking up a thing the other day, and it was I got screenshots of it, and it was I think the Bitcoin Amsterdam, and the whale pass was like 3,400 pound, I think it was, or euro, and that was like 5,000 Aussie dollars or something. And then it was like, or you can use Bitcoin. And then I did the Bitcoin conversion. I was like, fuck, it's like $1,000 cheaper just using Bitcoin
Wow.
than if I had to put it on my credit card, and it would have been more on my credit card instead because the bank fees. So it wouldn't have just been 5,000 because that was just the exchange rate from euros to Aussie dollars on Google. But using Bitcoin, I was like, fuck, it's like clearly the best option. And it's like, just insane. So
yeah, and it's instant.
Yeah, well,
especially on Lightning.
That's the point where it's like I can appreciate that it's instant, it's final settlement, but then you have to be pretty sure. I don't know about you if you've ever transferred stuff to cold storage and you're going, well, fucking hope it gets there. Maybe I'll just do the smallest amount, and then you're paying like $2 to send 20 cents just to make sure you got it right, and you're going, okay, sweet. That was my learning journey anyway. Now it's like fucking common nature, but I actually had to teach my old man while I was over in the States to move some Bitcoin around from cold storage. And man, I don't know if you've ever tried unlocking your mum's phone, if your mum's phone's doing something or your computer's playing up and you're trying to talk her through how to use the iPad or whatever, and on the phone, or even just doing it in person, you're like frustrating as hell. And I was trying to do it at like midnight or something, and Dad was up early and he was trying to get reception because we didn't have Starlink at that time. And I'm like, Dad, if you fuck this up, man, this is going to cost me a lot of money. Don't mess it up. So I was like, do the smallest amount. And anyway, we got it sorted. But man, it took a little while to organize that. But now he's like, oh yeah, now that makes sense. You just, because it was an air gapped wallet, so you just doing the QR codes and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But
the QR codes made it super easy. I'm sorry, my back. The user interface and user experience will need to get better and better and better, and that's probably one of the roles that the BlackRock ETF is going to have at the start. Is it will potentially bring people in. It'll be a very simple, easy way to be able to do it with the trusted institution being BlackRock. Whatever we think about them, they are very trusted. They've got $13 trillion of assets under management or whatever, and then other ones, Valkyrie, with 7 or whatever trillion. So they are very trusted. That'll be an easy way for people to get in. But hopefully people have that orange pill moment afterwards, and then they go from there, and then they learn how to put it into cold storage, like sell the ETF, buy the hard Bitcoin, and then do it. Probably still a way to go. It doesn't scare me, but I'll send 0.1 at a time or whatever, just to be sure, and then slowly ramp it up. But it's still fucking moving it from cold storage, and I do that occasionally. It's fucking scary, man. It's not scary, but it's still oh my God, each time you're like, this is a lot of money, a lot of money for me.
I don't know.
And
I don't know about you. If you do you follow the transaction as well? Do you go into the Block Explorer and go, is it coming in? Is it coming in? Am I receiving it? I don't know about you. I do that. I sit there and I go, okay, good, it's receiving. Now I know I've done it right. I'll leave it alone for a little while until it confirms. But I'm sitting there going,
I used to, but now I set it and I walk away and try read a book or go for a spa or go to the beach or do something. Otherwise, I used to do that, and I think it'd make it even worse. And especially because I do so many small transactions to be able to move those funds. it takes so long, and then I'd like be sitting there watching. I'm like, no more. First time I did it, I was terrified. I think everybody goes through that experience, and it'll happen more and more. And we sort of touched on this at the start as well. There's not 21 million Bitcoin anymore. There's only about 16 left, 5 million, and that's why I reckon Michael Saylor's already got up to 1 point of the supply. There was one more thing that I wanted to bring up here with it, if you've got anything that you want to bring up or if anyone's got any questions. But this is really interesting. So we're going back and forth about the spot Bitcoin ETF, and it's all posturing. And yes, Gary is purposely delaying it. It's going to come out, and it's probably going to be early 2024. So yes, while it makes news, it's a good story. It's not going to happen until it happens, and then it will happen, and it's going to open up a lot of capital coming in there, so it's not something that we need to worry about. It's just something that's very interesting. But we have so much trouble with the spot ETF, yet let's talk about this. Valkyrie will offer exposure to Ether futures as SEC delays spot Bitcoin ETF. Some analysts have speculated the SEC will announce decisions or delays on crypto exchange traded funds before September 30 in anticipation of the US government shutdown. Valkyrie spokesperson told Cointelegraph, blah, 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 that the firm's MicroStrategy ETF will allow investors access to Ether and Bitcoin futures under one wrapper. So they're tying Ether and Bitcoin under one wrapper, and they're happy with futures. Like, what the fuck? They're happy for a futures product out there, but not a spot Bitcoin ETF. Like, I don't know how any of that makes any sense. I don't know what your thoughts are, and especially combining the two.
I missed all of that. They're happy for a futures ETF.
Yeah, they're happy for a futures ETF, but what Valkyrie is doing is combining Ether and Bitcoin under one wrapper. I'll bring it up so you can have a little bit of a browse. What my problem is with it is that we can't have a spot Bitcoin ETF, but we can have an Ether and Bitcoin futures ETF under one wrapper. What are your thoughts about this, and do you care?
Mate, to be honest, all this information sounds like those guys on Twitter in your DMs, or on Facebook when you're in those groups. Hey, have you heard of this new staking platform that everybody's using? You're getting 200 APY for fucking. I'm like, dude, all I do, or the guys. I had one the other day. I'll see if I can bring it up. What did he say? And man, I just like, dude, all I do is stack sats and transfer them to cold storage. He's like, you get the ones. Hey, how's the market performing for you? Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Where is it here?
And they're always impersonating big YouTubers as well.
I just hit block on all of those. Block and report.
Fuck, it's so hilarious, especially when they're like, the YouTuber's a Bitcoin only YouTuber, and then the scammer comes into your comments, and they're like, hey, I just wanted to tell you about a little known crypto. You're like, oh yeah, cool. Like, what is this? And they're like, blah, blah, blah. You just play along for a bit. And you're like, fuck off, you idiot. Like, buy Bitcoin, stop scamming people. I said, you're doing really well at what you're doing. But I said, be a good person and use those tools for good in the world, because you got the talent to be able to market and manipulate people. Please put that to good use and actually contribute back to society. And they're like, oh, how can I do that? And then they're like, block me. But they've got the work ethic. They know how to communicate. They know how to incite
sell,
a market. Yeah, they know how to sell. So use those tools. And so if anyone else is getting these people in there, it's probably not going to change much. But if you can change one of those people's mentality to be able to do something good, well, that's fucking a whole lot of good in the world. And why not? Instead of just being like, you're an idiot, please piss off. Do you have any final thoughts, bro? My back, I can't really stand for much longer. What are your thoughts on the market? What's going on? Obviously, we've touched on a couple of things here. The government shutdown sounds like absolute lunacy. Hopefully that doesn't affect too many families, especially when they're just going to print money at the end of the day to be able to do it. Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, absolute GOAT there. You did a really good job backing up Gary Gensler and giving him a moment to speak. You said that you'd spend a day on Sailor's yacht. I want to bring that up one more time. Tag us on Twitter and view and let us know what you choose. Here for everyone, tag us on Twitter. Put a really smart post in there for us. Somebody will get a book. If it's easy to ship it to you, I'll send you a signed copy. If not, I'll ship it from Amazon for you.
Times two.
So there's 2 people there. So really smart comments, and we'll go through and we'll get those out to you the next couple of days. But what else for you? Whoa, dude, no way. You wrap up the thoughts, and I'm just going to have to research this really quickly. I'm going to see what I can find.
Yeah, I heard him say that in the interview too. I'm not my identical twin brother, and I was like, fucking hell, that's pretty cool. Mate, final thoughts is I just stack sats. That's about the only thing I can really say. I've pretty much put, well, yeah, I'd say 99.98% of my net worth into Bitcoin, and continuing to do so every week. I've eliminated most of my bills, living on my old man's farm, helping him out, you know, getting in and doing fencing and collecting eggs and looking after cattle and all that sort of stuff. So I'm living the literally farm life. And he dropped off a organic strawberry for me, our first strawberry. We got about, I don't know, probably 100 plus plants. So when they come on, it's going to be golden. But yeah, just stack sats. That is financial advice. No, I'm just kidding.
I think in Australia, actually, we don't need to do that disclaimer, but because we've got that American audience, I don't know, don't come at me, but just get as much fucking Bitcoin as you possibly can would be a good idea to look into potentially.
I like the when they say no exposure is you're shorting Bitcoin, mate. Just put a couple $100 towards it. I like what is it? What's that guy? David Da Vinci. What's his name? Da Vinci something.
Oh yeah.
His name wrong. Yeah, he's like, just put $1 in back in like 2011. Just put something in, whatever you can afford. Just put it in. If it turns to shit, turns to shit. You know, fucking who cares? But mate, just look into it a little bit more is what I can probably say to everybody. Yeah.
Maybe
not go the route that I've gone, but you know, just
it depends. Greg Foster's got a pretty good view on that. I've got a good video, so if people want to hear about what his thoughts are for young people and for wiser, older people, in regards to how much they should allocate to Bitcoin. But it's true. It looks like Gary Gensler, the champion, the man of the moment, the finest man.
Who's the better looking one, you reckon, his brother or him?
Probably his brother, to be honest. It just looks like his brother's less stressed, especially in these 2 photos here. It looks like Gary's under a lot of pressure, man. Like, I would not want his life, his job, his career. You know, the amounts of hate and negative energy that comes at this man, and I'm guilty of that as well. Bloody tough.
I'd like to know if this guy is stacking sats. I got to wonder, like, the people that are anti-Bitcoin and stuff, and or even just like in the industry, like these guys would be privy to some information that we're never going to know. Even when it all comes out, we're still never going to know it. Not on the same realm as they're going to know it. But I just wonder. I go, would he put like fucking 10 grand in? Because I'm sure he's got 10 grand spare. But he just going, fuck it, I'll go and buy Bitcoin, see what happens. You know, maybe buy it no KYC, so nobody knows that he bought it. I just wonder. You know, I just wonder if they. I don't know. You look at Nancy Pelosi's trading record, you know, or her partners, her husbands, you know, and I'm going, she's pretty. He's pretty good. He's pretty bloody good, you know.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's weird to think about. We need more time. We need to sit down again.
Absolutely. We will do this again. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on Twitter. Sorry we can't keep going. I'd love to keep going. But say hi, drop a comment, share the video. So much fun to have a bit of a Friday banter. Rory, have a beautiful day. Be blessed.
You too, mate. Peace.
Peace.